Hey everyone, it's New Year's Eve 2020. I got some new headphones for Christmas, Bluetooth headphones. Pretty cool, trying them out, sound quality sounds pretty good. So what's happened? I've been in Sweden 6 months around, I started work, I've made a good group of friends in my sort of accommodation, I've been doing some sightseeing, I had a housemate, then I had a second housemate, both wonderful, both great friends. And I decided to come back home for Christmas for 2 weeks. The COVID pandemic is getting worse, but we have 4 working vaccines, hopefully to vaccinate people and you'll be over with soon. But it's dragged on like a very, very long series, a series that should have ended a while ago, COVID. But yeah, here are some photos and crap I've been doing. So yeah, enjoy. So starting off with my house. My house looks like this. It's a nice sort of new shiny apartment block. That was a nice view. The sunset walking back one day. I got a good view from the window. There's this nice radio tower overlooking the forest. Pretty picturesque. And I'm very happy that I walk to work. It takes about 11 minutes. I take a route to work through the campus. It's quite nice, and work itself, it's the building's very new, very nice, very smart. There's some nice rooms to just sit around if you want a little break. Some nice seminar rooms. The lunchroom is pretty cool. And that's where I do actual lab work. I don't have that many pictures of lab work just because I try not to take my phone in that often. But that's taking separating white blood cells from the rest of the blood. This is a gel, and I just generally do things in the lab. Data analysis, and this is our team, a team of 4 people. A small lab, but it's nice to get to know everyone. And then I sort of explored the local area. As soon as I got there, I went to the supermarket, and they have lovely pastries. Swedish pastries are really nice. Cinnamon, saffron, vanilla. It's just wonderful. Going walking around. There's a small little housing estate, and that's some colourful buildings. A lot of hares. Snails are sort of white. Quite cool, I haven't seen them before, and there's even some deer if you go around walking at the right time. There's also some nice suburban houses. The houses have quite a lot of sort of variety in the architecture. There's some brick houses, there's sort of painted wood houses. Nice variety, sort of big houses. They have houses like flagpoles. It's quite common to see the Swedish flag around. And I even have a skiing slope near me, which is in the summer. It's sort of downhill car racing and a lot of mountain biking. It's quite cool. I explored the city, just ad hoc, walking around. This is next to a big train station, nice big church. I went to the longest running weather observatory in the world in Stockholm, where they take recordings of the sky and temperature. Nice view overlooking the city because it's very flat. Yeah, Sweden is generally a very flat place, no big mountain ranges. There's skiing resorts, but they're a lot lower than the Alps or other mountain ranges. I went to the other campus of Karolinska Institute. It's split across 2 campuses, one on the north side of the city, one on the south. And it's really funny sort of tradition, academic tradition, where before you defend your thesis, you nail it physically to a board so everyone can see it, and it's stuck there, can't be taken away. So these are people who are close to defending their thesis and had to nail it to this board. Quite cool. Went exploring the rest of the city, and these are a few people I'm walking around with. Great people, great fun, mix of master students, postdocs, all sciencey people, just in the same boat as me. It is Katarina Sofia, a big church on top of a hill, and you get these lovely views. This is another fancy suburb called Ulstaberg, very photogenic, very nice photo. Instagrammable, I guess you would say. This was a very fancy meeting room, really. It was just a conference centre, but very fancy, very aristocratic. I felt like a diplomat representing my country. Went to the biggest cemetery in Stockholm, which is in a place called Hagaparken. Very big public park, got this nice tent, and lots of sort of houses for the nobility that have been sort of kept and restored as museums. Quite quiet, got COVID. But yeah, it's nice to explore a new place. It's why I moved country, partly. Then we also did a bigger trip. 6 of us went to the biggest national park in Sweden, basically a very big forest called Tyresta Park. It's about an hour coach away. And it's just a huge forest on a scale I haven't really seen before. I think we went walking there for a whole day and we maybe saw about 10-15% of it. It was big forest and lakes in the middle, very picturesque. Lots of pine trees. No wonder IKEA is based there. It's just pine trees and lots of wood. Very cool place. There was a forest fire there, so they had the idea of having these big gold-coloured blocks so you can tell where you are from the sky when you're trying to fight the fire. Some nice wildlife. Huge forest. Went to another nature park a bit close to us, but again, lakes, forests. Very nice. Lots of national parks, and we went pretty much every weekend to another nature park, and each one of them was sort of very nice, but slightly different place. What else is this? Yes, this is another one called Bjorno, which means like the bear's house. And this was pretty much on the coast in the Stockholm sort of archipelago, lots of islands. And this was really nice. It was the sea, so it was slightly salty water, but didn't really feel like the sea. And you could have these great views of lots of islands and a very nice summer. Sweden has very nice summers, just very nasty winters and very little sunlight during the winter. This place was wonderful. Great days. And I've kept up playing Frisbee with Stockholm Ultimate. Very nice team, very mixed. Some Swedes, a few British people, French, Dutch. Very mixed, very nice, very great bunch. I played one tournament with them. Then there was this sort of lockdown and fall, so we didn't train anymore. But I had the opportunity to go to Sigtuna, and Sigtuna is it's called the first Viking capital because it was very big during the Viking Age. Very old town, very nice, just sort of north of Stockholm, so in Stockholm County. And I also came back for my mother's birthday to go to Harry Potter World. And I'm not really a Harry Potter fan. But I came along and said, yes, let's go. Let's see all the props. And it was really good. All the props are there, all the sets are there, the Great Hall, or the Golden Snitch, and just everything you could possibly want to see was there, and it was really well done. And I ended up really enjoying it, despite barely remembering much of Harry Potter. I think I saw the film. I think I've seen all the films at one point. But wasn't really into Harry Potter. But yeah, it's nice to see all the animals and just there's how much stuff was there was amazing. And the train, the privet drive, and the car, all the animals. It was just just really cool. Gringotts Bank, especially, they actually had to make Gringotts Bank twice because they had to have it intact and then destroyed with the dragon. And there's a good video of this sort of illusion they have of the dragon breaking free. What is that? Oh no! It's just a screen, yeah. And then the big highlight, big capstone was the actual Hogwarts Castle. So Hogwarts Castle is like a model. I think it's like 1 to 10 scale. Yeah, probably less than that. 1 to 50 maybe. But it was this massive castle that they fly around with a camera, and it was just incredible how much detail there was in it. And I also went to Central Cambridge using shopping and took a touristy photo, even though I'm not really a tourist. I'm from there. Of course, I'm from there. Came back and we went to the Nobel Prize Museum. So this is in the very centre of Stockholm. It's called the Old Town or Gamla Stan. And we went to the Nobel Prize Museum because they were giving out Nobel Prizes and they were free for 1 week. And yeah, a small museum, but packed full of stuff about Alfred Nobel and his life and how he came to found the Nobel Prize. Really cool story, very cool history. And Sai Ganesh, my housemate, left. His time was up in Stockholm and he's moved to Finland now to do a PhD, so he's still close to me geographically. We had a lot of fun together. I'm going to miss him a lot. Definitely a lifelong friend. But I saw him off the proper way. And have a new housemate coming in soon. And yeah, the big exciting thing I've done this year, definitely a highlight of my year, is Lapland. Yes, we flew to Lapland and I saw the Northern Lights, which is pretty cool. We flew to Kiruna, which is a city in the very north of Stockholm, very north of Sweden, near the Norwegian border in Lapland. Snowy, but not too cold. And yeah, we went walking around. It's a big Abisko National Park, a big national park with a valley, with this nice river running through it. And we found a good spot and we just waited. And one night we were there, Northern Lights arrived, and I took a bucket load of photos. I think I took about maybe 80 during the night, because we sort of waited and they arrived. They sort of gradually turned up there, and then they were really bright, and then they left. Really exciting. I think it's very much like I felt like it was a once in a lifetime thing, and I was the first in my. I think I was the first in my family to see them for many generations. Maybe I'm the first ever person in my generation to see it in the whole ancestry. Anyway, getting ahead of myself.
Hello guys, I know you probably can't see very much, but this is the Northern Lights. It's not photoshopped, this is exactly as I'm seeing it. It's not as green, but here I am. I am in Kiruna, which is very north of Sweden, near the Sweden-Norway border. And you probably can't see the ground. I'm in a sort of small clearing. There's a few Sami buildings, like reconstructions of Sami buildings, the indigenous people of the very far north, Norway and Sweden. But yeah, enjoy. This is very much once in a lifetime thing. They change very rapidly. There's a mountain slightly there, but there we are. I'm not going to forget this. Oh wow, that's really moving. Look. That's really bright now.
Look, this pink. Oh, it's so pretty.
Look over here.
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad I took the plane and the train and the bus over here. I doubt I'll ever go further north in my lifetime. But yeah, this is a really amazing moment, and thank you to my friends who brought me here, who I will not mention by name unless they give consent, because that's how consent works.
I consent. My name's Eileen.
We have Eileen, and her surname shall remain unrevealed. Okay. We have Eileen and 2 other unnamed people. But yes, we are now formed a strong friendship bond. I think this is the most exciting thing I've done in Sweden. Holy sh! I'm to stop there because I want to live the moment. But see you guys.
Lapland was very good. Not much else to say really. Good photos you can see here now. It sort of reminded me of like when I've been skiing in the Alps, but there were so few mountains and there was so much more snow, and we're so far up north in the Arctic Circle that I didn't really know what to expect. Quite funny to see a half frozen river, and then there's this one point where it's like the path is like cross this river and it wasn't actually frozen that much, so it was just like, well, we found a way around it, just a long way around. But yeah, the Lapland was an incredible trip. And on the way back, we took the train back to Kiruna, this big city. It's a mining town, but they're actually mining underneath the town itself. So they're actually moving part of the town, including this church, Kiruna Kyrka, church in Swedish. It's really old. It's meant to be a hybrid of like the Sami people, the indigenous people who live in Lapland, a bit Sami architecture, but there's this old sort of redwood, and it's really gorgeous inside. A very old dark wood mahogany church, really nice building. And there was a British pub there in Lapland in the Arctic. Great. Also pizzeria there. So nice to see food everywhere in the world. Someone was a bit sleepy. And then when I came back, this was in, I think, start of November, there were a bit more restrictions in Stockholm, so I couldn't really meet people as much. So I went walking on Djurgården, which is a nice island, which is sort of odd. I mean, Stockholm's built on 9 islands, and this island was, on one end, there's loads of really big, fancy museums. There's Skansen, which is a big open-air museum of it's sort of like a zoo, but also has lots of cultural things about Swedish culture. Huge place, definitely worth going to. I'm sounding like a tour advisor now. But yeah, so I went walking around this big island, and on one end there's museums, and on the other end there's big parks. There's like a swampy, marshy area. A river on one side. You can see, you can see Stockholm from the other side of the bay. It's just an island that has a lot of stuff in it. It's quite cool. Walking around by myself because of COVID. I just went by myself. We did go to another national park. This is very close to me. This is maybe a kilometre from me. I was walking through the forest. You can see my apartment, fancy houses, and getting more towards Christmas. I also volunteered, as well as doing the PhD work. I volunteered to work Saturdays at a COVID testing centre, which meant working Saturdays but a bit of extra money and helping people out. Just doing PCR tests, and this is a really big 10-story building owned by a big Karolinska Institute, a big research institute. Great view from the top where we had lunch, got to meet some people. I did a bit of walking around. I went on a walking tour, socially distanced. Saw the Royal Palace and this place where the Prime Minister lived, which is a bit sort of a small, unassuming house where the Prime Minister lives. It's quite funny. Really good walking tour. Got to learn a bit about Sweden, a bit about Stockholm and the Parliament, Stockholm City Hall, and doing all the big stuff. I saw the changing of the guard, which there were, I think, 6 of us watching, and usually there'll be like 100 people or more. But it involves guards changing and people shouting in Swedish. I didn't understand. The Royal Palace. I'm just flicking through the photos. Yeah, I'm flicking through the photos and trying to do a commentary. I think I'm doing it this way. I think it works probably a bit better and a bit more nicer for me. And Stockholm looking very Christmassy. And now I come to the end. It's I've been definitely been socialising, but it's nice to have friends. We play board games, we've had parties when we can. It was my birthday. We cooked together. We played Dominion, and we're just a nice little community of people from all over the world, lots of different nationalities, and just here all in the same boat. Restaurants, birthdays, it's all nice. I learned Agricola, a new board game, which I like a lot. been playing a lot of Dominion, of course. But yeah, we have a lot of fun. And I have a new housemate now who's really good, getting to know each other. And yeah, it's nice to be in a house with two people. Living alone is not fun after a while. And I decided to fly home for Christmas, which brings us to present day. His 2nd of January 2021 today. Flew home. Was a bit risky because COVID was very high in UK and Sweden. There was one flight, but I wanted to fly home and see family. Took a test, a PCR test in Stockholm. I took a PCR test when I arrived and wiped myself down. Came back and I've been doing Christmassy things, seeing people, gingerbread, just generally eating a lot of stuff and catching up with family. Memes, yes, the section what everyone was waiting for. I've got a few memes that I just took screenshots of that I thought were very funny. And I've also been making quite a few memes. I've had varying levels of success with my memes, I think I have to say. The biology ones are doing all right. I posted them on the biochemistry memes depicting interstellar scenes on Facebook, and the best one got to 7,000, but they're usually around 2,000 or 3,000. I think some of them are cheap, some of them I'm quite happy with. It's memes. Definitely be making some Dominion memes as well, which are pretty good. I'm liking my Dominion memes. Very limited, extremely niche, and I get single figure likes. Yeah, much smaller community, and a few other miscellaneous gaming ones. And that's it. Thanks very much for watching. And for the next 6 months, year, I have don't really know much else of what I'm planning. Just going back to work, and won't be travelling as much because of COVID. But it's just going to be work, PhD work, testing work on Saturdays, and yeah, playing Dominion and going through some video games. But yeah, I guess the next video will not be exciting. But thanks for sticking with me. I'm still learning how to do video editing properly. And in June 2021, I will see you all. Bye bye.